what's up? You might notice I'm not wearing my jacket. This week I thought yogurt. It's not a food or a drink. Oh, and I can do some physical comedy. Yogurt's messy. It dries like glue. It's hard to get off, even off of pleather. I'm going to have to give this sweater a Viking funeral. So for those of you who say I never admit my mistakes, that was a mistake. Alright, some of you know that I love The Authority. It was a comic book written by Warren Ellis back in 1999, and it is amazing. Sometimes absolutely no one at all asks me why it's called The Authority. I don't really know, and certainly I'm not qualified to conjecture, but if I were to conjecture, I would do so in the form of news clips. In Massachusetts, low-income children were given lunches and then forced to throw that food away because they didn't have enough money on their accounts with the school's vendor. Houston police, in accordance with laws banning citizens from giving food to the homeless, cited a destitute former sailor for collecting food from a garbage bin. In Augusta, Georgia, police formed a cordon so that local citizens could not take fresh food from a closed store. The chief of police cited that he did not have the authority to step out of the way and let citizens have the unattended food. A school racked up $34,000 of legal bills to keep a student off of their cheerleading squad. She had been kicked off after refusing to cheer "Put It In" for a basketball player who'd been convicted of assaulting her when she was 16. The courts ruled in favor of the school and charged the girl's family for all of the school's legal fees. And while veterans struggle with the effects of war, former U.S. presidents clear $3.7 million of taxpayer money, and that's before Secret Service protection costs. These laws exist because of Truman, and I was going to take a moment to be like, oh, President Truman, you spoil everything for everybody, but I'm on a bit of a roll. On the civilian side of things, while the Pentagon anticipates 40 to 50,000 civilian layoffs over the next 5 years due to the sequester, Supreme Court, congressional, and presidential pay, benefits, and pensions remain utterly unaffected. Some of those lawmakers, many of them independently wealthy, have voluntarily returned 5% of their pay, which is like empathizing with a tsunami victim by telling them about that time you almost choked on caviar. Despite a government cleanup effort that's been ongoing since the Manhattan Project, the Hanford site is a nuclear mess, and according to the latest report, it could blow up because of the neglect. I'd love to talk more about this because it is like a nuclear thing, but the aforementioned role is still ongoing. But maybe something funnier is in order. Some TSA agents were so stupid they not only sprayed each other and themselves with pepper spray, but they utterly neglected to get it on tape. Kansas City police found a homeless camp by the site of some thefts. There they found some underground tunnels, and citing some nearby diapers as proof that homeless people have children, they declared the whole shebang unsafe, scheduled the site for demolition, and filled in the tunnels. If uprooting homeless people because they're maybe up to no good in the name of their now displaced children, if that's not a police action that exists only to make the KCPD look productive for the local news, I'm not sure what is. Reports from Ohio show that people with unpaid fines are being jailed without hearing, indirect contravention of laws which explicitly require they receive hearings. Jailing people who are unable to pay fines makes them a drain on taxpayers and keeps them from earning the money that they owe. When the spirit of the law is completely ignored in order to serve its letter, it's easy to cite a lack of authority or act under the pretext of serving a greater good. But if cops in Kansas cared about the welfare of homeless babies, there wouldn't be homeless babies in camps. No one benefits when you throw away food instead of giving it to people, and spending $34,000 to keep a student off of the cheerleading squad because of a single reasonable act of protest is completely irrational. The truth is that these people who have power are afraid to jeopardize their own standing to follow their conscience. Even if they're just fulfilling their role, who is defining that role? Lawmakers and administrators who don't observe their own laws? Who don't bother to clean up their own messes? And who innocently shrug and claim they're helpless cogs in the legal machinery the minute the public calls them out on their indifference and incompetence?
My heart was blinded by you. Have kissed your lips and held your head, shared your dreams and shared your bed. I know you well, I know your smell. I've been addicted to you. Goodbye, my lover. Goodbye, my friend. You have been the one. You have been the one for